Hi, my name is Claire Ngandu and I'm here to give you my story and my experience as a mom. So, what is my experience and what is my story? Well, my story begins way back. I think I was in grade 10 and I remember one day sitting in my room, as I usually loved to do, especially after I did my chores. I loved to think about how I want to have my home set up. And this was not because I was ready to have a home, but because I wanted to be ready. And I have learned in life that if you really want something to work out a certain way that you want it to, the preparation is now. So what did I do? I began to read books like Adventist Home, Child Guidance, though I did not finish it. I began to read books like Mind, Character and Personality just to wire and change my mind to think in a certain way in preparation for the same. Books like Desire of Ages, Steps to Christ, and others goodly spiritual books that are around us, including the Bible. In my time, I decided to sit back a little and watch how other families are trying to make up this beautiful family that I want. And so I watched every single home, and to my amazement, actually, I did not really see the ideal home I wanted to. And I did not know if what I really wanted was going to be attainable. I quickly brushed off that thought because I realized that we actually live in a world that you have to put all negativity aside so that you can reach the positive results that you want. I later on went into college, university, and from there I told myself I want a serious guy who is going to have what I want and who's going to have the mindset, and of course who is actually preparing themselves for the future of the home that I desired. I prayed really hard at that time. Something I did not want to do in my life was to make a mistake in the circles of choosing a life partner. I put a certain amount to myself, I attached value to myself. Fast forward, here we are preparing for the wedding, and my mind is still telling myself to not really get excited because this is a huge decision that will either help me have what I've always wanted, or it will completely detach me away from it. At this point, in front of the pastor who was officiating us, and it was our time, or my time, to say I do. And I remember having a quick prayer to say, Lord, please, if this is not, do something. Strike him dead. Or let something just happen so that I do not get into something that I know I would not be happy in. Here I said I do, he said he does, and we were tied into marriage together, and so our story began. Fast forward into our marriage again. We are here with our children, 3 children that God has blessed us with, and I'm telling you, it's nothing really to be proud of in terms of being proud and advertising all your children and saying we've managed, that pride that comes along with it. It's actually something that gives me a sacred feeling of the job and the duty that I have towards these children in raising them up in the fear of the Lord. So I'm happy that God blessed me with these children, but at the same time, I really want to do my best. I'm not doing all this out of fear because of probably the results that would come off, but I'm happy to work with God in this whole arrangement of building character for Christ. I'm excited and I want to see the results. In all the episodes that we have been watching on child guidance, there's so much encouragement that gives me to say the results, of course, may not be shown or seen now, but definitely and finally eternity is granted if we do our part. Remember, we are just co-workers with God. So this gives me a lot of encouragement that if I do my part, then God does the rest. I may not see the results now. I may never see them now, but I know eternity is granted for both myself and my children. The podcast has really enriched my life in this line of trying to impart in knowledge to these children that God has given us, my husband and I. And I always share with him. He's busy with work, and the time that I have with him, I always share with him what I have learned in the child guidance book, and I share with him so that we can implement it together, that we are on the same level. And so it is so exciting when I begin to tell him. He may not fully get it unless you read it on your own, but at least he has the concept and what we are trying to achieve as parents for our children. We have learned so many lessons of planting seeds and nature, and how you as a parent, as a guardian, you need to prepare yourself, your mind, to raising up these children in the fear of the Lord. This includes your deportment, your dress, whatsoever you do. All this comes and culminates together to form the results that your children will have to see and later on implement in their lives. And I find it, I feel it's like a homework. Every time when I wake up, every day I wake up in the morning, I have to remind myself to say, the kids are watching me, everything that I'm doing, and I need to do things right. I need to do things right. Some of the things that I'm implementing so far, from the time I started watching the Child Guidance podcast, I've begun to implement health habits in general. Like, I would want to wake up in the morning to do exercises, but I find it a little hard sometimes. So this is something that is ongoing, and I try to wake up as early as I could to do my exercises. If not, then during the day. But the first thing that I do, which I am actually teaching the babies or the kids, is to wake up early. The first thing you do is pray. The second thing you do is make your bed. From making your bed, then you can wash your face, brush your teeth, do something before you have your breakfast, because that's before 8. So you do something, so I give them a small portion outside to sweep. When they are done, then they can have their breakfast. On the health habits, I teach them as well to not snack in between meals. So when I give them breakfast, I usually give them between 8 and 9. When I give them their breakfast, I tell them not to ask me for any food. It sounds harsh, but I'm reaping the benefits. Try it, trust me. So I tell them not to snack. I'll not give them anything. So I give them a heavy meal. I give them sometimes oatmeal. I give them maybe shima in the morning. I'll give them shima with beans, or shima with fisashi, or maybe pumpkin leaves, or beans leaves, or Chinese. Yes, I would do that, and I make sure they are filled up. If I don't give them a heavy meal, then they will come before time to ask me for more food. So I make sure the morning meal is heavy, it's filling. So they would stay for 4 or 5 hours without eating anything, and they would wait for the next meal. In between the first and the second meal, I encourage them to drink a lot of water. So they say if you find a habit a little hard to grasp, to get, make it easy for yourself. So I put some water for them in their water bottles, and I show them where I have put them, where it's easily accessible. And there anytime they pass through, I actually put it at the doorway. So when they're passing and they see the water, then they take it and drink some, and so it becomes easy for them. I encourage them to drink lots and lots of water. They sound so simple, but they have a lasting impact. Look at not eating between meals. When you eat in between meals, your digestive system is constantly at work, and this may cause overtasking the digestive system and may cause more problems on the character or on the mood of the child, and even adults. You find you become irritable. Your digestion is disturbed, so it affects even your thinking, and your whole mood is disturbed. So try it and let me know what you think. But so far I have seen the results. My kids are always in a good mood. They are hydrated. So these are the benefits that I reap from just trying to be healthy. And at the same time, I'm teaching them that this works. I'm not just telling you to do this and that and that and that. I tell them, you see, you drank water, so you are hydrated. You don't have this headache that you usually have. That was before I began implementing all this good stuff that I'm learning. I'll show them if you do this, this happens. If you don't do this, this and that happens. One other thing that I have incorporated is also early bedtime. Of course, I must say, even before I began reading the child guidance and everything, I learned this from my home, back home, mom's place, mom and dad's place. I learned it. Mom is into health practices, and so we've learned as children to sleep early. For this also promotes a very good mood and also just enough energy for the day. So for the kids, I tell them by 2021, between 2021, you must be sleeping already. So this is one other practice that I incorporate, and I tell them, when you sleep late, your mood is destroyed, you will not have a clear mind, and you will not focus on anything that you are doing. So I tell them, cause to effect and effects to cause, or cause to effect. I don't know. Since we've been learning about nature, I have also incorporated this nature thing. It's so sweet. I've incorporated them in the nature. I am learning how to embrace nature. We were told as parents and guardians, we need to embrace nature ourselves. We need to be more frequently outside, and this will encourage the children. Children already love being outside, so seeing an adult outside will encourage them more to be outside. And while we are outside there, we are learning a lot of things. Talk about the bees. They even know so far how honey is made just because I exposed them to nature. And of course, I'll make them watch a documentary after exposing them to, let's say, a bee. I expose them to a documentary how honey is made, and they'll be so excited. It's so intriguing to them, and you will not believe the results that just this act as a parent does to the child. Is this your favorite?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's nice.
And what?
And then this.
Did God made it?
Yes.
Okay, what color is it? Green. Green? Do you love green? Why did God make it green?
That's like that.
That's the way God made it? How are the leaves looking like?
Yeah.
Are they soft?
Yes.
They're nice? Don't break it. What about this one? What color is this?
Purple.
Why did God make it purple and God made that one green?
Because it's like that.
Just like that? Okay. It sticks. It does stick. This I believe. And I tell them about the ants. I tell them about the butterflies, the beautiful butterfly, the process of a butterfly being a butterfly and attaching it to their life. And making principles for them to follow as they are growing up. Whew. I just don't know why I did not do this earlier. But I thank God that I have finally come across all this. I really thank God. It's amazing. Apart from all this beautiful stuff, I also teach them how to take care of themselves. You know, bathing and keeping clean, brushing teeth, the hair. I'm into hair. I love to see healthy hair. If you ask me, for those who know me, I don't love putting extensions on my hair. I don't love plating it with extra material. I want to appreciate the way God has made me, and I prayed to God. You know, God is a friend. You need to experience God yourself for you to know who God really is. And this is why I told God, just as a little child would tell a parent, say, God, I really don't want to put this and that and that and that on my hair. I don't want to do that. So help me to find best ways to take care of my hair. And I'm doing this also for others. Those who know my YouTube channels and my Facebook accounts, I have Facebook accounts where I talk on just hair, how you can take care of your hair. And this is all because I want you and I to appreciate the way God has made us. We are part of nature. We should not disturb nature. The way God has created us, we need to remain the way we are. This whole teaching on child guidance and the health and everything, it's wholesome. If you change your health habits, many other things will change, because the same bad health habits that you are having, that you are practicing, are the ones actually destroying lots and lots of it. So to reverse all this, we need to hit first the nail on the head, and which is the health that we practice. Do we do the right thing? All these things I am practicing and teaching them, you know, how to take care of their hair, and again, the results are amazing. Away from the hair, from nature, we go to the spirituality of our lives. I am one who loves reading the Bible and reading any spiritual book that will lead me closer to God. I love listening to music that elevates my mind closer to God. And I love anything really that helps me to try and understand God a little more, so that I can walk into His paths. On the spiritual aspect, I am enjoying relating the lessons in the Bible, like David, Joseph, Abraham, Noah, all these stories with the life that we are leading, and just bringing it into the children's life, teaching them the principles and how these mighty heroes of God managed to stand for God even in their toughest times. And I have seen that it has had an impact on the way they deal with things. It looks simple again, but I have seen, when I say to my child, clean the table and do it well, like David would do when he's taking care of the sheep, and be respectful and obedient, like the way Daniel did when his parents were not with him in Babylon. I would see them working hard, trying to be that figure, that character that I have exposed them to. Oh my God, this thing really, really does work. What I have learned as a parent in all this process of trying to teach my children is mind-blowing. I have seen the weaknesses that I have not been exposed to myself. Like, wait, am I this bad? That's what really comes into my mind. And I did not know I was this impatient. You know, the kids would push me to my limit and get on my nerves, and oh my gosh, I just have to control myself, because again, the reminder is they are watching. And most likely the way I will respond to certain circumstances or situations, I find them responding the same way. And I get scared sometimes and say, oh Lord, help me to be the perfect example for them. And so I have learned kindness, I've learned patience, I've learned to be humble, to be loving with them. I have learned to take my time and be present with them in every moment that they are enjoying as little children. I have noticed that when I'm sad and not happy, they get affected. Like I am the middle man in my home. Dad can be sick, dad can be sad. Yeah, they'll be sad, but not as much as mommy. When mommy is sad and when mommy is not okay, it doesn't all go well with them. So I have learned to take care of myself, my mental health, and problems will never end. We will have problems here and there, but I think being mindful of how you handle yourself in front of these little eyes that are watching is very important. So I take care of my mind. I want to be happy, even though things don't seem to be working to my advantage, but I want to be happy, to give them this atmosphere of cheerfulness. There's a word that I found interesting in child guidance, cheerily. I love that word, cheerful, cheerily. I also want to be the best example that they have ever met so far in their lives. I need to be the best example because they are watching. When I try to teach them directly, it's a little different from just the normal, because they learn unconscious behaviors. Oh, what am I trying to say? They learn unconsciously. They see everything that you are doing, how you handle your emotions, how you respond to whoever you're talking to. They learn all that unconsciously. So it really matters how you behave in front of these little children. So I want to be the best example, and I really pray hard to God that I can just be that best example. So my life has to have that character that will allow them to have the best character that I want them to have. Relationships. They learn how to handle relationships from us parents, us guardians. You know, like how I respond to my husband, how I talk to him, how we resolve conflicts. Of course, we are not supposed to, discuss in front of our kids, but it doesn't mean discussing big stuff. It means even the smallest things, like, what are we going to eat today? Okay, we are going to eat this. If my husband is not okay with it, how do we settle for something that we are both okay with it? So how we interact, how we relate. These kids, they are picking all those things. So it's really something on us parents, as guardians. We really need to give them the best. We are the teachers. Whether you like it or not, whether you are around, you are available 100%, 50, 20, 10, you've got an attachment to this child and they are watching every move. So this would teach them how to handle relationships. Later on, when they grow up into bigger girls and a bigger boy, when they have their relationships in terms of wanting to create a home, this will give them a foundation on what kind of a home really they need to make, what kind of a home they have to create for their children. All this stuff comes right from us. So yes, this really is all this that I'm learning so far in practice. And I just hope that you could also tell your story and inspire someone out there. You never know. But one thing I know for sure is you and I are going to be great moms, great fathers, great dads, great guardians, if only we adhere to these beautiful principles that we are learning from the Child Guidance book. Why don't you attend the Child Guidance podcast and watch it? Make it part of your daily life routine. The way you listen to motivational talks and things like that. Add this one as well as a spice that will bring a sweet fragrance into your daily behavioral life. So why don't you join me as we create a perfect character for our children by the grace of God. Thank you for watching, and please do tune in. I love you.